Hi everyone, this is another Meals from Deals week. And if you're new to our channel, I'm Julia, Aaron's behind the camera, and we are the Canny Couple. And Meals from Deals is where I go to the grocery store, get the majority of the groceries we're going to eat for the week on sale and on deals. So let me show you my grocery haul. I think I really got some really good deals this week. Okay, so here is what we have, and again we're going to start with what we have to eat on this side, and we will go over to our stockpile items over here. So what we actually spent on food for the week, with very few pantry staples added in, would be $32.05, and what we spent on stockpile items was $35.22. And we have some eggs, some Parmesan cheese, we have apples, potatoes, some bananas, we have 4 huge cucumbers. Those were a good deal. They were 2 for $4. We have some sausage. I have carrots. It's a 2-pound bag. And then we have 2 whole hens. And some of that will go in the freezer, but I am going to go ahead and cook them both up. We have 4 things of mozzarella cheese. I have another thing of sausage to go in the freezer, another thing of eggs to keep in the fridge, and we have 4 cans of chicken and 2 more mayos. They were 2 for $5, so we actually had some really good deals here. I said that. I said 2 for $1. Oh, they were 2 for $1. 2 for $1. Sorry, Aaron's interjecting here for me. Oh, and we have a Kraft cheese. It was $2, and that will be in this week's meal prep, which I'm going to show you here in just a second. So now that I've shown you all the deals that we got this week, let me show you what we're going to do with them, or let me tell you what we're going to do with them. So what we're going to do for breakfast is I actually have a whole bag of breadcrumbs that I have been not hoarding, but I've been collecting to make a French toast bake. Eggs are the most expensive part of that recipe, so we're going to use about a dozen eggs, and we're going to make a French toast bake, which is going to be absolutely amazing. We're all going to really like that. It's going to be good and filling for breakfast. Lunch is actually not included in this meal prep, but what I do have in this meal prep is a snack. We have sausage balls. We are needing snacks, especially, after dinner in the evening, or, between lunch and dinner. So sausage balls are going to be a great snack for us to have on hand. Now, dinner. My dinner plans got changed. So our grocery store actually had a deal, but you had to look at the coupon because only certain QR codes, or the UPC codes were included on this, so we couldn't find them. They had a deal for skinless, boneless chicken breast for $1.69 a pound. We couldn't find any. Not with those codes, because we were looking, and what they would have been if we didn't have the coupon, it would have been $2.99 a pound, so not as good of a deal. So what I actually ended up doing was I got 2 whole chickens, and we're going to roast both of these. I'm not going to use all the meat off both these. I'm actually going to put some in the freezer for Friday, Saturday night dinners. But that's the plan. I had to kind of shift what we're doing. But what we're going to do is we're going to roast this chicken, and we're going to have barbecue open face sandwiches on sourdough bread, which I have baking in the oven right now, with roasted potatoes and carrots and cut up cucumbers. The cucumbers are more for me than Aaron. They were a really good deal. You could get 6 little cucumbers for $2.50, or you could get 2 for $1 cucumbers, these great big ones, so that was a much better price. I actually ended up getting way more cucumber for way less cost. So that's going to be a really good dinner, and plus we're also going to be making a gnocchi. So I'm going to make gnocchi with roasted chicken, a garlic parmesan. Got good parmesan for this, so garlic parmesan gnocchi with carrots and chicken in it. So I'm excited. So I'm going to start my prep work, and I'll bring you in as we get ready to put things in the oven. But what I need to do is I need to peel potatoes, and apples. I'm going to make the baby some cinnamon apples, but I'm going to keep aside 5 of them for meals. So we would split an apple between the 3 of us. She gets about half, Aaron and I get about a fourth. So we're going to take 5 apples and make cinnamon apples. But I'm going to peel our apples, peel our potatoes, get our cucumbers ready. We're just going to slice these. They're not going to have anything done to them. We're going to get our carrots cleaned up, cut if they need to be cut, and just get everything started, and I'll be back with you in just a minute. Okay, got a lot of prep work done, and we're going to go ahead and get this chicken started. As you can see, I have some really pretty loaves of bread here. I didn't try to do a design that came from my town. So, chicken. First we're going to do is I'm going to start with pepper. I have the breast side down. I'm pretty sure I did. It looks like I did. These are actually really good size. So I'm super happy about that. And I'm going to salt. I'm going to salt them pretty heavy because it is chicken. But I'm keeping it really simple for these because we're going to put some in barbecue sauce and we're also going to put some in the other meal. So I don't want to over season them with a lot of different flavors. Now I'm going to do a little garlic because garlic goes good with just about everything. I'm excited for this week's meal, but I also want to amp up our protein because we've got a really busy week this week. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add some fat. And I have a jar of bacon grease, and that's what I use to grease up my pan. I'm going to put a good helping here on top of it and just smear it just a little bit. Not too terribly worried about it. And there we go. And I'll get the lid on this and get it in the oven on 350 and cook it till it's done. Juicy and tender, probably 4 to 5 hours. So there's that. Next, my baby's apples. She loves fried apples. So all I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little bit of sugar. Not much, just a little bit. Probably 1/4 cup. This is 1/2 cup. And I'm going to add some vanilla. And you can add cinnamon. She's on and off with the cinnamon, but I do know she just likes fried apples. And then I will cook these for probably 20-30 minutes until the apples have like a glaze on them, but they're not, mush. And if you do turn them to mush, you've made applesauce, so it's not that big of a deal. It's good either way.
Yes.
And you can add a little bit of lemon juice to this if you want to amp up your flavor. But for her, I'm just going to leave it. I'm going to set that to the side. I have potatoes cooking for my gnocchi. I'll show you how to put that together once they're done and I get those mashed. Now I have 14 eggs here. Let me get my spoon. Actually I need a fork. I'm going to give these a really quick whisk. Just to start breaking them up. You can blend these. Sometimes I'll take my immersion blender and blend them up, but you don't have to. And then I have this whole bread of breadcrumbs that I have been collecting. And this is white bread and sourdough bread.
I get probably some wheat bread too you had there too, right?
The bagels? No, I didn't really use.
No, when you made the wheat sourdough.
I didn't make a wheat sourdough.
Oh, okay.
I made the wheat bagels, not sourdough.
Okay.
I'm going to give this a good toss. I'm going to add, and you can see there's a lot of crust in the end pieces. So for us, I'm going to add some salt. For us, the end pieces aren't quite big enough, like sometimes we'll have them. But most of the time, I just throw them in my bag because then I can use them later. We're going to coat it with some milk. Just enough to get it moistened and to get it all incorporated. So you're making French toast. That's really what you're doing here, but you're just doing the oven and one big thing. I like making it this way a lot better than I do making it individually because it's so much easier. We don't have this very often. This is not a meal I make super often, but we will be having it more because of where I'm making homemade bread. But this will be a good mix because we are moving more to sourdough. I did make 4 loaves of sourdough today. It's a cooler day today, so it was a good day to have my oven on. Which is why a lot of my food's being baked today, because I had to have the oven on. I need to add some more till it's a little dry. But what I do with my sourdough, I cut it in half and I put it in the freezer. And it's actually been working out really well. Have you been able to tell, Aaron?
Not one bit.
And it works out really well if you do white bread and you make it in bulk and you're like, gosh, my family won't eat 2 loaves of white bread before it goes bad. You can make it that way. It works out so well. The thing I don't like about this meal is it uses a lot of eggs. It just uses a lot of eggs. And right now, for us, eggs are expensive. We have found one store that has them, and they've had them for a really good price for a couple weeks now, and I've been getting them every time we go. Tell us what the price of your eggs are if you buy them. I can't wait till we have eggs every day. Get closer. You want to tell them about the chicks?
Yeah, we've got some chickens now. We got some little ones we've had for just over a week now, and I think they said they were 7 days old when they got them or so.
No, they weren't 7.
No.
They were hatched on like a Wednesday or a Thursday.
Wednesday. Okay, yeah. So probably about a week and a half old right now or so.
Add some vanilla. We're going to add about a cup of sugar. So remember, we eat this for a whole week. This isn't one meal. And I don't know how to do small batch cooking. This is our busy planting week. So
lots of gardening.
Lots of gardening work that we're going to be doing this week. So I need to have really easy, no fuss, no muss meals right now. And I would rather my French toast be a little sweet. Aaron he'll probably add a little bit of syrup to his. I won't. I don't like syrup on my stuff, but Aaron will. And if you want to make this ahead of time, it is better to let it sit. But you can, if you forget, you can go ahead and make it. It's still going to taste good. And I like to make French toast without sugar, and I like to eat it with barbecue. So it's really good if you do like a neutral French toast without sugar. It's really good with barbecue. It's like my one weird thing I eat.
Yes, that is probably true. One thing.
The one weird thing I eat, but it's one of those things I do like. Okay, so there we go. I'm going to get this in a pan, get it back in the oven until the eggs cook all the way through. I don't like to give you all times because my oven might cook different from yours, and if you go by my oven, it might not be done or it might be too done. So I would just check it 30 minutes, and after 30 minutes, every 15. You kind of have to judge as you're cooking. But whenever I can poke it and it comes through clean, I know it's done. So, I'll set this right here. Okay. And I have all my other stuff ready, and we'll show you the gnocchi when those potatoes get done and mashed. But here is our sausage balls. So this is our snack for the week. Like I said, we are doing a snack this week because we are hungry at night. We need a better snack. And Aaron is my snacker. He's eating up most of the snacks in the house, and he's like, we've got nothing to eat, so I'm making him a snack. It is a pack of sausage. It is about 1.5 cups of cheese and 2 eggs. And now I'm doing 3/4 of a cup of pancake mix. And what I'll do is I will mix all this up and start rolling it out, put them in the oven, and they take about 30 minutes to cook on 350. We will come back and I will show you how to make that gnocchi. We are ready to make our gnocchi, and right now I'm starting that sauce. So I have 1/2 stick of butter in a skillet, and I'm going to turn it up just a little bit to start that sauce. And all we're doing is butter, Parmesan, a little bit of milk, and some garlic. Salt and pepper, of course. I'm just going to add that in, and we're just going to let that cook up a bit until the butter is fully melted. And then we'll add the Parmesan. I'm going to go ahead and I'll actually wait for the pepper. And then we will add our gnocchi and everything into this. Now, gnocchi is a potato pasta, for those of you who don't know what it is. And I'm probably butchering how to say this. But what I have here, I have 2 cups of those potatoes. I just fork mashed them so they're smooth. If you have a ricer, you want these as smooth as you can get them. I've added 2 eggs. And I'm going to add some salt. I'm going to give this a quick whisk. And then we'll add our flour. And you can cook it in water until it floats, but you can also pan fry it or put it in the oven to fully bake it. All you're wanting to do is make sure that the egg and everything inside of it gets fully cooked. And I'm just going to make sure that egg gets good and mixed together. And then we're going to add our flour. Now, I'm very odd about this. I always keep my flour in a plastic bag in my cabinet, the one that's open. I know that's not like the best way to do it, but it works for me. I'm adding a cup of flour to start off with. I'll probably have to add more, but we're going to start with a cup. We're just going to get it to that dough-like consistency. And keep an eye on everything else that we have going on. And my sausage balls got done. They actually turned out really pretty, and you can see here is our breakfast bake. What do you think, Aaron?
Looks good.
And at some point I'm gonna have to come out on the counter and use this with my hands. My hands are clean. Just to get this to form a dough. That's what we're looking for, is that pasta dough-like consistency. It would be easier with a ricer. I can see why you would want to put this through a ricer to get that really smooth potato. As smooth as you can make it. That's the goal. Without adding anything extra, which makes it a little hard. And I'm going to add just probably a half a cup of flour to this, just to make sure I get it good and doughy. Yeah, it needs at least half a cup of flour. You can see I'm using my new cups here. Aaron got me for our anniversary. Aaron thought I forgot about them.
First time I've seen you use them.
First time I have used them. We're just going to fold it until we get a nice good dough. What we wanted to do is we wanted to hold up when we start the process. We just want it to be dough-like, not potato cakey. You're wanting it to be more like a pasta dough, not like a potato cake. Just keep kind of incorporating it because you don't want to have a big chunk of flour as you're eating. Need a little bit more flour. It's too wet.
Did about half a cup there again, right?
About half a cup. And I'm going to pull out just a little bit more before my hands get too doughy. You can always put it back. There we go. That's what I want to see. I'm just going to knead the flour into it to get it to the consistency that I want. And the one that I'm looking for is really whatever your preference is. But I will say we love gnocchi. It's one of our favorites. But I've never made it homemade.
I was going to say, I was buried to ask.
I haven't made it homemade. But it's not hard. It's just one of those things where it wasn't something I had the bandwidth for. Which was okay. Some people, can make it all the time. I can't. I'm excited to make sweet potato gnocchi when we have sweet potatoes. Our garden plans are coming along really, really well this year. Yeah, it looks good. See, it holds up nicely to its shape. Okay. I'm going to wash my hands and we're going to roll this out. So I will be right back. So I checked on my butter. It's melted. We're just going to let it get a little bit warmer, a little hotter before we add the Parmesan and the milk to it because I don't want it to kind of seize up. I want it to be warm enough. Just got to watch it because it will burn. I'm going to cut this into fours. Make it a little bit more manageable. Let's lay them out. I love this thing. We bought this years ago. It's been one of the best. I've talked about this so many times. It's been one of the best investments we've ever made for my baking, hasn't it?
Yes, it has.
We're just going to roll out our potato dough here. We'll say this is the thing I have the hardest time with. Like, I feel like I can never get it like long enough before I get frustrated and I'm done. So keep rolling. Threw my fork in there to be washed, which is okay. All right, and then I'm just going to make these the size I want them, and I don't want them very big. I just want them to be little potato bites, about that size, and then we'll roll them in our fork here in just a second. Are you excited to have homemade gnocchi, Aaron?
I am. I like gnocchi.
I know we haven't had it a really long time.
Right. And it's honestly probably because we figured the little one won't eat it.
We tried it once. She wasn't terribly fond of it, but maybe she'll eat it this time. She surprises me from time to time. Sometimes she'll eat stuff, sometimes she won't. And then multiple people do this different ways. I don't understand why you actually have to roll these things personally, but I'll do it. You roll it with a fork, and this is not pretty. I need one of those rolling pins that they have for gnocchi. You roll it or you press it, whichever one you prefer. I might actually just do the press personally. And I'm going to keep doing this. Let's get our sauce up a little bit. And then we'll get it all added and fully incorporated, and then just let it cook. And you see my apples, they've turned out really well right now. They're still cooking. I would like them to be a little bit softer, but the butter or the sugars kind of turned brown. Not burnt, just brown and sticky. Kind of like a caramel, but not really. And then I have the carrots. I did go ahead and pre-cook the carrots. I cooked them in water just so they would be soft and I wouldn't have to worry, because carrots are going to be the thing that's going to take the longest to cook if you put them in here raw. Because the potatoes are already cooked, all you're doing is really getting that egg good and cooked. So you want to make sure that you're not putting carrots in and you're waiting for them to cook. So I went ahead and pre-cooked those so they wouldn't take quite so long to cook in the whole thing. It'll just absorb all the good flavors. We're just letting this get to temperature. Make sure I've got the right stove on. I've done that before. So what are you most excited to eat this week? Sausage balls?
Probably. I've always liked sausage balls, so to me that's something I always enjoy is the sausage balls. I can eat those any time of the year. You know, a lot of people just do them around here, especially
Christmas.
at Christmas and Thanksgiving. But it's one of the things I was used to eat growing up pretty much throughout the year.
They're a good snack to have. They don't take too terribly long.
Right.
And it's a good way for me to use my homemade pancake mix.
Yes.
Because I've been making sourdough discard pancakes for Aaron, and I've made big batches and frozen, and Aaron's really liking those.
I like those better than
my homemade.
Yeah.
They're lighter, they're fluffier. He could eat more of them.
I think that's it. You don't feel overstuffed after eating a pancake.
My milk. And if it becomes too thick, you can add more milk. However you really like to do this. If you want to leave the garlic out, you can. The Parmesan cheese will have enough flavor. Just really whatever your preference is. We do like garlic, so we thought garlic would be a good flavor here. We're just going to let this melt, form up, put it all together, and put it in the oven. And then when we have our chicken, we'll add it on top. So when we come back, we will have a taste test and show you what everything looks like put together.
Okay, back here for taste testing. So this was the
French toast.
French toast. Okay, let's see what we think of it first. I'm not a big French toast person myself. Pretty good though.
Just pretty good?
No, it's sweeter than normal.
Because I had sugar.
Okay.
Do you like that?
I think I do. I like that better. And these the apples.
Mm-hmm. She's gonna like those.
Mm-hmm. There we go.
This is the gnocchi with chicken and carrots. And the Parmesan cream sauce.
Oh wow. Mmm. That Parmesan really sticks through.
How's the gnocchi?
Gnocchi's really good.
It's ugly, but it tastes good.
I don't really care about that, you know. That Parmesan's really good on it. I like it. Okay.
And this is what we're having tonight.
There's just regular carrots, right?
Yep, cook them in some of the chicken broth and just salt, pepper.
Good. And then this is I made a homemade barbecue sauce to put on the chicken with the homemade sourdough bread.
Mm-hmm.
Very good, very good. Actually pretty good for this time of year. I was a little worried, you know.
Yeah, and they're really big.
Something good tonight. I do like the gnocchi really good though.
That your favorite?
Maybe.
But you like barbecue?
I like barbecue, but that Parmesan really sticks through, having the fresh Parmesan, you know.
The real stuff.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully Isabel likes that.
Yeah. We'll see.
It's gonna be good this week, though.
It is.
But, you know, we try to cook through the week to save money and everything, and, you know, this is one of the ways we do it as well.
Yep, absolutely.
But any comments, questions, anything you want to hear in a future episode, send it to thecannycouple@yahoo.com. Make sure to go and check out our link tree, which has links to all of our other social media. And
as always, thank you for joining us on The Canny Couple, where we work hard, live simple, enjoy life. Thank you.